Okay students, welcome to the next lecture of Biomedical Engineering. Today we will see the concept of problems encountered in measuring a living system. So this is very interesting topic, and this topic enables what are the aims or what are the activities we have to take with a lot of care while designing the biomedical equipment. Okay, so this is very important. Why? Because when you are designing a machine, that is very important. The problems which are associated in the real time, these are the very important. Okay, the problems which are associated in the real time, those problems you have to identify before designing the machine, and you have to design your machine perfectly. Then only your product will be very successful in the market. Okay, so your products will be successful in the market when it is ready to solve all the problems which are in the real time the suffering by the nurses or biomedical equipment technicians. Okay, so these are the very important. So let us see for entering into this topic. This is very important. So see here, in an ICU, intensive care unit, a patient is there here, and the patient is connected with a lot of equipment in this picture. Okay, right. Let us see carefully one more picture. So see carefully this picture. In this picture, the doctor examining the patient. The doctor is examining the patient by using stethoscope. In a peaceful environment. That is very important. The doctor is ready to check the patient pulse, but the important parameters are, the first one is instrument, that is the stethoscope. This is very important. And at the same time, the stethoscope placement on the chest, and the right place in the chest, and cancellation of the noise. Cancellation of the noise is very important in this particular listening the heartbeats. Okay, right. And coming to here, it's very simple thing. Our electronic equipment or our biomedical equipment, we are connecting to the patient and we are taking different types of parameters. What are the problems are faced by the patient. Okay, so now let us see once again the topic name, that is problems encountered in measuring a living system. When a living system is diagnosing process, that is nothing but as when we are measuring some of the parameters from the human body, what are the problems are encountered, what are the problems we are getting. Okay, so you have to analyze that. So what are the problems we are facing when we are testing the patient, when we are diagnosing the patient? This is very important. So let us keep it one mind. Here we are identifying what are the problems, not the solutions. Listen carefully. Here we are identifying the problems when we are testing the patient, when we are measuring the different types of parameters from the patient, not the solutions. What are the problems we have to see here? Okay, let us list out the problems. Okay, let us list out the problems. So coming to here, the problems while measuring the human body. The first one, inaccessibility of variables. We cannot access those type of variables from the patient. So this is the first problem. And second one, variability of data. The continuation variation will be there in the measuring data. Okay, the values are not constant. Okay, so this is the second problem. And third problem, lack of knowledge about interrelationships. Third one, interaction among physiological system. In our body, we have different types of physiological systems. In our body, majorly 4 physiological systems we have seen in the previous classes. What are they? The first one, biochemical system. Second one, cardiovascular system. Third one, respiratory system. Fourth one, nervous system. These are the 4 systems we have seen in the previous classes. Not only those 4, remaining lot of systems are available in our human body. Skeleton system is there, excretory system is there, muscle system is there. Okay, lot of systems are available. So we have to understand the relation between the all the physiological system, the interaction among the physiological system. Effect of the transducer on the measurement. Next problem is effect of the transducer on measurement. And 6th one, artifacts. 7th one, energy limitation. And 8th one, safety consideration. These all are the problems. These all are the problems. Now we will see one by one. It's very important. This question is every time in the previous examinations they will ask really 8 marks or 12 marks question as a 8 marks question or 12 marks question. Otherwise, sometimes they will give explain the following. Right? They will give the first one inaccessibility of variables. Second one is lack of knowledge. Third one is artifacts. Fourth one is energy limitation. For each problem, they will give 4 marks. Right? Like they will ask. Okay, it's very, very important. So, let us enter into the topic. And you have to keep it in your brain. So, we are testing the patient by connecting some biomedical equipment. Okay, right. Let us see the first problem. Inaccessibility of variables. First one, what is meant by access? Access means we can touch that parameters. We can touch that type of things. Okay, we can touch that type of things. Right. Here, the concept is inaccessibility. The concept is inaccessibility of variables. So, we cannot access some variables here. We cannot access some variables. That is the problem. Right. What are the variables we cannot access? We are inaccessible. For example, today first hour you have some class. Today first hour you have some class. Right. So when you are coming to that class, you are taking morning breakfast and you are taking good bath and you are coming college in time. So the same thing happened for every day in the entire week. Okay, first day you have woke up at by 6 a.m. and you have taken good plenty of yoga and you have taken food and you have came to the college by the time of 9:30 and your classes started at the time of 10. Okay, right. Like that every day you have followed this timetable. But the concentration, the listening part, the concentration of the class on every day is not same. Why? What is the reason? It is some chemical imbalance situation in the brain. So we can say that, but we cannot measure the type of activity. Why? Because your concentration is less in the today's class, right? Why your concentration is high in the tomorrow's class? So we cannot measure each type of parameter perfectly. That means some of the variables which are there in our body, those we cannot access in all the time. Okay, and some of the parameters we cannot measure, right? For example, you will get some itching. So you will get itching in the left hand sometime and right hand sometime and back side, front side or back side of the body or front side of the body. Like that, you will get different types of places for itching. But why the itching is coming, you don't know. So what is the solution when the itching came? So just rub that part. Automatically your itching goes off. Okay, your itching will be reduced. What is the solution? Why you have taken a rub activity here, automatically itching is gone. Right? What is the problem? How can I access that type of is there any electronic instruments or is there any biomedical equipment to find out the itching behaviors? No, it is not available. So we cannot access those variables from our body. Okay, so these are the problems. We cannot access some of the variables. So let us see. Difficulty in gaining access to variable being measured. So some of the variables are not available from the body. Some of the variables are available, but it is very difficult to identify. So the itching, the solution is just rubbing the place. Automatically your itching going to be reduced. For that, we need to, if you need to establish, design a biomedical equipment, it will take lakhs of cost, right? So problem came, solution is also over. Then what is the necessity of keeping lots of money for detecting or for designing the biomedical equipment for that problem? So it is very difficult. So no one is interested to put that much of money. Next, it is impossible to place. It is impossible to place a suitable transducer. It is very important. All the time we cannot place. All the time we cannot place the suitable transducers. All the time we cannot place suitable electrodes or transducer to measure that activity. I said there is some chemical imbalance in our brain. So in the brain, is there any chance to place any electrode? It's not possible. We cannot place any transducer in our brain. Okay, so if the brain surgery is very, very difficult, so we cannot insert a transducer in our brain. Like that, a lot of places are available in that from the human body. In that places, we cannot place a suitable transducer in the measurement of dynamic neurochemical activities in the brain. Particularly in the brain, for the neurochemical activities, we cannot place any type of transducer. Okay, next third one, where a variable is inaccessible for measurement, an attempt is often made to perform indirect measurements. Okay, wherever the is very important, where the variable inaccessible, right? Well, we cannot access that type of variable. Okay, right? For example, blood flow. We cannot place all the time a transducer into the body, internally to the body. So for that reason, we are going with a separate procedure called indirect measurement. Indirect measurement. For example, blood pressure. For each and every body has some blood pressure. That blood pressure exactly there at the left ventricle outside. So we are not placing an electrode at the heart. Why? Because inserting into the body is getting a big problem. So for that reason, we are going an indirect method. Just we are taking an aid bag and we are folding at our limb, left side arm limb, upper limb. Okay. So at this place, we are placing air bag and we are measuring 120 by 80 like some parameters. That is, we are saying that is the blood pressure measurement processor. Actually, that is the indirect blood pressure measurement. If you want to measure direct blood pressure process, then you have to keep an electrode into your heart. That is the solution. So, wherever the variables are not possible to access, then we are introducing an indirect measurement process. Okay. Next, this process involves the measurement of some other related variables that makes possible of a usable estimate inaccessible variables under certain conditions. Wherever the direct measurement is not available, we will take indirect measurement. Where the direct variables we cannot measure or we cannot access, then we will take their related variables. They related some of the variables. So based on that variables, we will identify the brain variables. For example, here I want to know the Z value, but the Z value is equal to A plus B. I have the values of A, I have the values of B. A values I know and B values I know, but I have to measure Z. Then the Z is equal to A plus B. Z is equal to A plus B. So we have to first find the A value, then find the B value. From that A and B value, you have to identify the Z value, where the Z is our required variables. But A and B are not required. But A and B are combinedly helps to solve for finding the Z value. Like that, some of the variables which will be available, which will be accessible from our human body, those are helpful for identifying the inaccessibility of variables. Okay, we cannot measure directly, we cannot attack directly for accessing that variables. Sometimes we are going with some relationships. Okay, we will take them some dependent parameters. Based on the dependent parameters, we will identify our variables behavior. Okay, right. Next, in using indirect measurement, however, one must be constantly aware of the limitations of the substitute variable and must be able to determine when the relationship is not valid. When we have some substitutable variables, so wherever the inaccessibility of variables, wherever we cannot access that variables, we will take its substitute variables and we will measure those type of activities. So this is the concept of inaccessibility of variables. It's very simple thing. The first point is we cannot access some of the variables from the human body. At that time, we are depending on its dependent variables, and in some of the places we cannot place some of the transducers. We cannot place a suitable transducer for measuring the brain related activities. Okay, some of the some of the variables we cannot access. That is the biggest problem in the human body. Okay, right. Next, second one. Right. Now coming to the second one, variability of data. Variability of data. Right. For example, see here, morning at the time of 6 o'clock, in our stomach is nothing. Okay, so just we woke up and our stomach is completely empty. After 9 a.m. okay, in between 6 to 9 a.m. we will complete all the regular activities. After finishing of the all regular activities, we will take a breakfast. So after breakfast, our stomach is full. So after that, 10 o'clock, our stomach will be almost in the settled situation. So whatever the food you are taking at the time of 9 a.m., that will be digested almost 50% to 90%. Then this completely digested food will be converted as energy. Then we will work perfectly. That means at the time of morning 6 a.m. we don't have that much of food in our stomach, so we cannot work perfectly. So in our body the energy levels are very less. But at the time of morning 10, the energy levels are somewhat high. At the time of afternoon, the energy levels after taking the lunch, after digesting the lunch, the energy levels are very good. So for particularly at the time of evening, we will play a lot of outdoor games, because of the afternoon food will generate a lot of biggest amount of energy, and with that energy we can successfully play a lot of outdoor games at the time of evening. So after that, by the night time, we will take again a less amount of food. That amount of food will be useful to maintain the internal organs of the body, right? Okay. So see here. So the energy levels are from morning to evening completely different. Energy levels are morning to evening completely different, right? Like that. For example, if a patient is there, that patient energy levels are also completely different from morning to evening. So at the morning, if you are going for verifying the blood pressure activity, okay, so you are connecting an airbag and you have measured BP. Now the BP value comes like this. Actually, the BP value is 120/80. So at the early morning, 6 a.m., the patient BP value is 110/70. So within 10 minutes, again you have measured. Then at the time of 6:10, the BP activity is 130/90. Why? What is the reason? Within 15 minutes, what is the change? In particularly sometimes, for example, at the time of at a particular time, at the time of 6 o'clock, he measured the BP 2 times. Okay, first time you got 110/70, second time you will get 120/80. Otherwise, at the same time, if you measure, the BP is completely different. For every time, the BP value is different for the patient. Why? The BP is changing minute to minute, or 10 minutes to 10 minutes, or 1 hour to 1 hour, or whatever it may be. So the BP value or the temperature value or maybe any different type of human behavior parts, they will continuously change. Right? So what is the reason? That is not related to us. Why? Because that type of behavior has to identify by the doctor, and he has to suggest the medicine. That's not related to our activity. But our activity is, if the variation is there, if the continuous variation is there, you have to design an equipment for identifying that continuous variations. See here, few of the variables truly deterministic variables, and they should be considered as stochastic process. Some of our human body variables are completely deterministic variable. That means we can determine those variables by using some functionalities, and they are stochastic process. That is, they are completely depends upon the time. Okay, stochastic means it is some of the random variables with respect to the time. So with respect to the time, the values are going to change. For each time, the value must not be same. Okay, so may not be same. They may be different. Okay, a stochastic process is a time variable related to other variables in a non-deterministic way. Okay, right. We don't know which parameter is going to change, but it will change with respect to the time. Physiological variables are some kind of statistical or probabilistic distribution. So some of the in our body variables are completely statistical and probabilistic distribution. Those type of all the different types of variables are available in our human body. In other words, measurements are taken under a fixed set of conditions at one time will not necessarily be the same as similar measurement made under the same conditions, and the variability from one subject to another is even greater. Right? Here the concept is time. Okay. When you are measuring the BP for 5 times, the 5 times you will get different values. If you have taken the same conditions, okay, the patient in the after ICU or after discharging from the ICU or in the at the time of there in the intensive care unit, at that time the patient is going to measure a lot of variables. At that time, all the variables may not be same. Why? Because time to time the values are completely changing. What is the reason? That is not related to us, that is related to the MBBS doctors. Why? Because they have injected lot of drugs. It may be lot of different situations, lot of conditions are available, but every time we have to give the accurate value and true value. That is our responsibility. Okay, don't say that the input is continuously changing. If input is continuously changing, automatically based on the input and system definition, you have to produce your output. That is our responsibility. So don't say that the input is changing. The human body behaviors, the human body input variables, their work is continuously changing. That is the variability of data. Next, coming to that, the third one. The third one is lack of knowledge about interrelationship. Lack of knowledge about interrelationship. First, let us see. It is important to understand about the interrelationships within the body, right? So the most unknown thing in the world is human body. Okay, everything we thought that I know about my body, but actually we don't know about our body. Why? Because we can't say why we are behaving as a good, why we are behaving as a good. When you will get angry, you don't know. When I will get angry, I don't know. Okay, so we don't know anything about our human body. Okay, and at the same time, lot of interrelationships. What is the relationship between these two hands? What is the relationship between hands to legs? What is the relationship between ear to nose? What is the relationship between eyes to ear? So whenever, for example, a person hits on your face, when it is touched to your nose, right? Automatically your eye is going to blur, right? Okay, so whenever you feel some very cool air, okay, if you wear the mask also, when you are entering into the coolest areas, automatically you will get some cold, okay, you will get some lungs infection. What is the reason? Because of your ears are opened, okay, your nose is only opened, no closed, but your ears are opened. What is the relationship between to the ear and the nose? What is the relationship between to the ear and mouth? What is the relationship between to the nose and eyes? So all are internally connected, but we don't know that that perfect relationships. Okay, so because of lack of knowledge about their interrelationships. So first of all, you have to improve your knowledge. What is the relationship between their relationships? Physiological measurements with large tolerances are often accepted by the physician because of lack of this knowledge about the resultant ability to control variations. Well, right. Whenever you are went to doctor, the doctor will check, put the thermometer in your mouth, and he will connect a BP machine to your hand. Okay. If you are running very fast, after that, when you are checking the blood pressure activity, your BP activity, that BP values are somewhat high. Okay. So when you are in the relaxed mode, the BP values are less. Okay. So you have to know first of all what is the status of the patient. Then when we have to measure the BP, when we have to check the temperature, when we have to check all the parameters, that means you have, that are all the things you have to know. And at the same time, when you know the relationships, then only you can control the input variations. I said that variability of data, lot of variations available at the input side. If you know all the relationships, then only you will control the input variations. Then you will perform a good examination to the patient. Next, third one. Better understanding of physiological relationships would also permit more effective use of indirect measurements as substitutes for the inaccessible measurements. So, I said that inaccessibility of variables are available, variability of data is available. When you have the perfect knowledge about these interrelationships, then you can judge, then your knowledge is very better in the position to judge that inaccessibility of variables, how to identify the inaccessibility of variables, and how to control the input variations. These are the things you will know when you have good knowledge. So if you don't have good knowledge, that is the biggest problem. Next, interaction among physiological system. So I said that just now, the relationship between the physiological system. So our blood circulation system and our respiratory system and our bone system and our muscle system or our skeletal system. These are the human physiological systems. Okay, when you are running very fastly, okay, you will take breath very depth of the breath. You will take very deep breaths. Okay, why you are taking deep breath? What is the requirement? And your BP also very high. That is blood circulation also very fast. The blood is circulated in our body with very fast. What is the reason? What is the reason? It's very simple thing. When you are running, your body is almost working very hardly. At that time, the body requires a lot of amount of energy. So that energy, how the energy will come? The energy will come by with the help of whatever the food we are taking. The food, how the food is reaching to our body parts. The food reaches to the body part with the help of red blood cells which are available in the blood. Okay, the red blood cells delivering the energy. Okay, so for that reason, the blood is circulated very fastly, right? So when the blood is circulating, the red blood cells releasing the energy. Whenever the red blood cells are available in our human body parts, then only they will release the energy. So for giving that energy, the red blood cells are working very fastly. Okay, so here whenever the blood is circulated with very fastly, then the oxygen, carbon dioxide gases exchange process is also very important. Exchange is very important. When the blood circulation is happening very fastly, at that time, lot of amount of oxygen is converts the food particles into the energy. With the presence of oxygen only, the food particles are converted as energy. So food particles is one side is very important, and oxygen is one side is very important. So the oxygen we will take with the help of lungs. So for that reason we are doing, we have to, there is a relationship between the lungs and blood circulation system, that is heart, and our legs. Okay, so these are completely related. So we have to know the relationships between the physiological systems. Because of large number of feedback loops, okay, in our body, lot of feedback loops are available. Large amount of feedback loops are available, are involved in major physiological systems. In major physiological systems, we have lot of feedback loops. A severe degree of interaction exists both within a given system and among the major systems. So our major system is the central nervous system. So the central nervous system and the related all the physiological system, we have to know the relationships. Why? Because you are running fastly, your lungs are working fastly, and your blood circulation system is working fastly. But for these three are coordinating with our central nervous system. The central nervous system controls, hey, how this much of blood you have to push, this much of oxygen you have to consume, this much of things you have to work, and this much of speed you have to run. Like all the decisions are given by our central nervous system. So major system to the internal systems, they should cooperate. This is the relationship. The result is that the stimulation is one part of this is very important. Stimulation of one part of a given system generally affects all the other parts of the system. So stimulation, so the running, it is related to the legs. That is the stimulation we have given at the legs. But that is completely related to the other systems. Right? In some way, we have seen the running activity. Not only running activity, the remaining activities also very, very important, and often affects the other systems as well. Okay, it will affect, and other systems also, they will change their parameters. For this reason, this is a very important concept. See here, cause and effect. Cause and effect. So, stimulation is the cause and effect is there in total body. So, this is the cause and effect relationships is clear. Our doubts are our difficulties. Even when attempts are made, still feedback loops are exist. So, lot of feedback loops are transferred this informations. So, after lot of attempts also, again, these problems are same. Again, the feedback loops are working perfectly. Okay, so this is about the fourth problem, interaction among physiological system. And fifth one, effect of transducer on measurements. Actually, when you are a patient is measuring or diagnosing in the diagnostic center, the patient is connected to lot of electrodes. The patient is connected to lot of electrodes. The electrodes will work when they have sufficient energy. Okay, so when an electrode is connected to the patient, some electricity is passed through that cable, and that energy is that electrical energy is sometimes entered into the body, but that is should be there in the safe level only. If it is exceeds, then lot of problems will occur. That means electrical shocks will occur to the patient. So for eliminating these type of problems, we have to select a best and suitable transducer. Okay, effect of transducer on measurement. So the sufficient energy is there for transducer, it's not a big problem. If sufficient transducer is not there, then that is the biggest problem. Almost any kind of measurement is affected in some way by the presence of measuring transducer. The problem is greatly compounded in the measurement of living systems, right? So in many situations, the physical presence of the transducer changes the reading significantly. If you are not using the right transducer, the values of the transducer output is very, very irrelated to our physiological function. For example, a large flow transducer placed in the bloodstream partially blocks the vessel and changes in the pressure flow characteristics of the system. So when the blood circulation is going there, the blood, if you want to measure the blood flow behavior, right? If you are placing a biggest transducer in the blood circulation path, then it will automatically restricts the blood flow, and there may be a chance of disturbances will be generating with the transducer. The right size, it may be size of the transducer, it may be efficiency of the transducer, it may be shape of the transducer. So whatever it may be, the effect of the transducer may be there at the measuring process. So the right electrode or transducer is very important. Next, seventh one, artifacts. This is very important, and this is my favorite one. The term artifacts refers any component of a signal that is extraneous to the variable represented by the signal. This is the definition of artifacts. Thus, a random noise is generated within the measuring instrument, that is electrical interference. Is very important. See here, electrical interference, crosstalks, all other unwanted variations. So when a patient is measuring with this biomedical equipment, all the electrodes are connected to the human patient. Okay, so the human body is connected with a lot of electrodes. At that time, is there any electrical interferences or any crosstalks or any unwanted signal variations, then it is called artifacts, right? Generally, these artifacts are caused completely based on the moving of the subject. Moving of the subject means moving of the human body, right? So see here, sometimes the patient will get fits. Okay, at that time his body is completely shaking. So when the shaking is there in the human body, the electrodes cannot touch the body perfectly. At that time, some disturbances is coming. So generally, the artifacts completely due to the electrical interferences, crosstalks, unwanted signal variations, their behavior seems to be like this. These are happened with the movement of the subject. A major source of artifacts in the measuring of a living system is movement of the subject. So this is about the artifacts. Next, seventh one, energy limitations. So just now I said that effect of the transducer, the sufficient energy you have to transfer from the transducer. If sufficient amount of energy is very helpful to identify the correct behaviors of the patient. If you send more than that, the lot of problems will occur. Many physiological measurement techniques require that a certain amount of energy be applied to the living system in order to obtain an instrument. For measuring different types of parameters from the human body, we need to send some limited voltage to the body. Otherwise, we cannot measure. If you are sending more than that, a small excess amount of, for example, see here, some transducers generate a small amount of heat in the current flow. When the body is connected electrode, some voltage is entered into the human body. At that time, it will generate some heat. A small amount of heat will be generated. If you are sending a high amount of current flow, then large amount of burns will be, somehow a large amount of burning also may be made at the human body. So that is the biggest problem. When you are designing biomedical equipment, you have to think once. With the help of our biomedical equipment, we have to give the treatment. We cannot damage the human body. That is very important. If your equipment is damaging the human body, then a lot of problems will occur. However, in dealing with the living cells, care must be continuously taken. Care must be continuously taken to avoid the possibility of energy concentrations that might damage cells or with the measurements. So when you are doing the measurements, the energy levels are very important. So if you take a lot amount of care, then all the things, all the measurements will be perfectly we can take. If you are not taking any care, then there is a damage of human body cells, or maybe there is a chance of producing the burns. So here the biomedical equipments are meant are designed by the to save the lives, not collapsing the human body functionalities. It is very, very important. And coming to that last one, safety consideration. The methods employed in the measuring variables in a living human subject must in no way endanger the normal functioning of the subject. So here, our biomedical equipments we are designing for normal functioning of the patient's body. Okay. So in that point, you have to keep it in your mind, and you have to design that type of biomedical equipment. Recent emphasis on hospital safety requires that extra caution must be taken in the design of any measurement system to protect the patient. So whatever the equipment you are designing, that should be taken by a lot of care. So for that reason, biomedical equipments are very costly, and it should meet the safety requirements which are giving the standards from the government of that particular concerned country. Similarly, the measurement should not cause undue pain, trauma or discomfort unless it becomes necessary, right? So whatever the biomedical equipment you are designing, the main important thing is here it should not create any pain. It should not create any discomforts, otherwise unless it is required. In sometimes we are giving electrical shock treatment. At that time we have to give some energy to the patient. That is different. But other than that cases, remaining cases, you have to design your biomedical equipment without any discomforts. Okay, for the patient. That is very, very important. So this is the last one, safety considerations. So just to remember one thing. What is the first one? First one is inaccessibility of variables, right? First one is inaccessibility of variables, right? First one is inaccessibility of variables. Second one is variability of data. Third one is interaction, lack of knowledge about interrelationships. Fourth one, interaction among physiological systems. Fifth one, effect of transducer on measurement. Sixth one, artifacts. Seventh one, energy limitations. And eighth one, safety consideration. These are the total 8 problems we are facing in generally when you are measuring some of the parameters from the human body. Problems encountered while measuring with a living system. When we are connecting a biomedical equipment to the patient, when you are measuring different types of parameters from the human body, these are the problems you are getting. Okay, right. So finally, remember one thing, we have different types of biomedical instruments. Coming to their classification. So the first one, based on the activities involved in the medical care, medical instrumentation may be divided into 3 categories. The first one, diagnostic devices. Second one, therapeutic devices. Third one, monitoring devices. First one, diagnostic equipment. So with this we can measure different types of problems which are faced by the patient. Second one, therapeutic devices. We have to give some treatment to the patient. Okay, so we have to give some treatment to the patient. That is very, very important. So for the treatment, we have to design some biomedical equipments. Third one, monitoring devices. We have to continuously measure. Otherwise, we have continuously diagnosis the patient. So for that reason, we need some monitoring devices. These are the very, very important. This will work. This will connect to the patient maybe 5 days or 10 days or 20 days or 1 month, 2 months or 1 year, 2 years. Like that, we are connecting this monitoring equipment. At that time, we have to take a lot of care. Other than these 3, the fourth one is supplementary devices. That means we will place some of the machines inside the body. Okay, for example, pacemaker. A pacemaker is a device which will use for replacing the heart functionality. For example, electrical conduction system, if it is failed in our heart, we are placing a pacemaker system in our internally to the body, and we will stimulate the heart. Like that, we are using some supplementary devices. If any person loses his hand, we will give an electronic hand. If he loses any organ in his body, for example, eye he loses, then we will give some bionic eye, that is bioelectronic eye. We will give bioelectronic eye. Here also we will give some of the hearing aids, like some of the supplementing instruments also we are implementing. Supplementing the instruments also we are designing. So this is about completely classification of the biomedical equipment. And finally, coming to here, this is a standard textbook I am following for the biomedical instrumentation. All the contents I am taking from the Cromwell. Okay, and one more textbook also we have, that is Onkar and Pandey textbook. So I have not mentioned here. I will mention in the description or at the below of this video lecture. Okay, so see here. Okay, thank you.